Jaguar Wright has absolutely gone off at Piers Morgan after he apologized to Jay-Z and Beyoncé for Jaguar exposing them on his show.
Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyoncé during that interview.
If my word is good enough to make it through Piers Morgan's firewall of please don't sue me, then I guess he just vetted me for every ounce of real life content on this blue couch.
And it's hard not to see why considering Piers came off as a real bootlicker during his apology.
The thing about platforms, the reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as there's something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyoncé during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
For anyone catching up on the drama, Jay-Z and Beyoncé are not thrilled with Piers Morgan. Their attorney, Alex Spiro, is raising serious questions about Piers' ethics after he aired an interview with some vague but intense allegations against the superstar couple. Spiro appeared on TMZ Live and spoke about how Jay and Bey feel following an episode of Piers' show, Uncensored.
I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim Porter?
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about, Piers.
Listen, like I said, Jay-Z and Beyoncé are not here, unfortunately, to respond to that.
I know. I'm just being honest with you.
You're perfectly entitled to your views, obviously. Kim Porter, a new book claims that Diddy may have been involved in her early death. What do you think of that?
I think people should really look into that more.
According to Spiro, Piers gave too much airtime to what he sees as rumor-mongering, putting unfounded allegations on blast. He's clear. These claims are demonstrably false, and Piers, as Spiro puts it, was irresponsible in allowing them on air. Spiro went on to say he's given Piers 2 choices: either take down the interview and apologize, or face a legal order to get it off the air. There are people, however, who believe Jaguar Wright is just lying, such as DJ Vlad.
Jaguar Wright said some pretty crazy stuff. She said basically that Jay-Z and Beyoncé were keeping people against their will and putting them on planes while they're unconscious.
But that's my thing, right?
Have you ever seen, when you were Rockefeller, did you ever see Jay-Z want to put him on a plane?
No.
You're sure, right?
Positive. But my thing is, even if they was doing that, say they was doing that, how would she know?
Right.
But I'm scared of Jaguar Wright, though. So, like, I won't say nothing about her because Jaguar Wright, I don't want no trouble from you. Like, she don't play no games. She don't got no picks neither. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean,
is it entertainment for people starting to believe her because she on Piers Morgan? Like, that's a major platform to be on.
Yeah, I've been on Piers Morgan like maybe 4 or 5 times. So he asked me to be on this one panel. And then when I saw the names, I saw her name on it, I was just going to cancel. But I'm like, you know something? I'm going to stick around and do it, and I'm going to address the nonsense.
I think she just getting money. I think she just found a way to get money and just run up with that. I mean, because...
Well, she actually sang on a Jay-Z song a
while
back.
Yeah. She got skills. She can sing.
Right, and I think when Jay-Z did the Unplugged, she was one of the backup singers.
When they had the band, she was there.
Yeah. So did you ever see her around Rockefeller at all?
No, I never saw her, but I know who she is. I mean, she was popping. I mean, she just changed her lane to doing the podcast stuff. I mean, you know, but I think with the Puff Daddy thing going on, it made it like more seem like it's a possibility that can really happen. The stuff that she be saying. You know what I mean?
Well, look, if you say 100 crazy things and one of them comes true, people think you're a prophet while ignoring the 99 things that are absolute nonsense.
But we know for a fact that Jaguar was right about a lot of things. Things that Vlad denied years ago, such as what Diddy was seemingly doing to Cassie.
Jaguar Wright is known to be a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, no, you're wrong. This nigga Vlad. Hey, Vlad TV, aka what's your name, bro? Vladimir Booski. No, it's Vladimir let me get this straight, because I'm not versed Ukrainian. Vladimir Lyubovny. That's his name. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. Hey, yo, no, Vlad, this is Wolfgang. I'm gonna come at you as a tech guy,
Because he is a tech guy. That's his background.
I met
before
you
vlogging.
Carpet at the homie YG. Shout out to YG. I'm from Compton, but YG's from Bompton.
From Bompton.
I met you at his red carpet, and you were surprised that I knew who you were. I know you a tech guy. You come from the tech background. I got a tech background, so people know each other. Yeah.
Techie.
And I met you, and you were like, oh shit, yeah. I said, hey, what's up, Vlad? It is what it is.
Like Taki.
Vlad, bro, you're a vulture.
Yeah, he is.
You're not hip hop
At all.
You're about as DJ Tanner from Full House. You're about as DJ Academic.
He's a dick jockey.
He's a disgruntled journalist. How about that? Vlad.
He's not a journalist at all. He's a chronolist.
Vlad, you're wrong.
Honey, you should talk. For real, because he said he would never sit with us.
No, I know.
Never. He said he would never sit with me. He would never have me on it. He never wanted to talk to me. He never would.
And Jaguar had a very interesting theory as to why Vlad is so popular with a certain demographic.
The truth needs no support, just time and room.
Why do you think Vlad has been allowed to take root in our culture and be able to do as many things as he's been able to do?
I believe, in my opinion, that he is an information and disinformation agent. I think the reason why it's hard for anyone to attach him to any American agency is because he isn't a part of any American agency. I have reason to believe that he is Mossad, Israeli intelligence background. I mean, you were born in that region, or at least your people come from that region. You marry a black woman, get you a little black sympathy, get into the culture a little bit, act like you want to make black people famous and you care about this and that. I remember when you started, Vlad. You want to know what was funny? A friend of mine that worked for Homeland Security told me to never sit with you because this isn't the first time you reached out to me, Vlad. You reached out to me in 2008 after me and Mr. Carter had a very, very, very unfortunate incident. Your life is about as, and your background, it's about as easily tracked as Barack Obama's.
That's pretty tracked.
Yeah. Like there's something very wrong with you.
In recent times, she has claimed that Jay-Z had something to do with Aaliyah's death, and that is something that has been corroborated by other sources.
We know that Diddy and Jay-Z have both been friends with R. Kelly for years, and Jay-Z continued to make albums with R. Kelly after all the information came out with him and Aaliyah. And I'd say this is because Jay-Z was pretty comfortable with the fact that he knew he also wanted Aaliyah, and honestly, so did Diddy. And Aaliyah's death has never sat right with me. There are so many sketchy things around her death that just don't make sense. The fact that Aaliyah was given a substance and knocked unconscious and then was carried onto this plane that she didn't want to get on because she thought that something was wrong with it that led to her death is just crazy. There's also even more disturbing information about Aaliyah's pilot of that plane, and they said that he had just joined the program 2 days prior before the flight, and he wasn't even supposed to be the pilot on that flight.
Aaliyah was sitting in a taxi as her team and the flight crew argued nearby about whether or not to take off, and she complained of having a headache. Now, reportedly, a baggage handler nearby said that someone from her entourage gave her a pill. She took the pill, and that right after she fell into a very deep sleep. So deep, in fact, that she was carried onto the airplane still asleep and may not have even been aware that she was on the airplane. Now, we should say we don't know what that pill was. It could have been aspirin. Maybe she was just very tired from a long video shoot, and the baggage handler did say that she took it willingly, but it does reveal some new information about those final moments.
After the crash, investigators determined the small plane was carrying about 700 pounds over its limit, and this is important, the center of gravity was too far back in the aircraft.
The pilot did not want to make this trip, and he reportedly argued with Aaliyah's team because he thought that it was unsafe. So he did make those calculations, and he did decide that it was unsafe. However, after protracted negotiation, they went through with that flight.
The final piece of this puzzle really makes it look like Aaliyah was specifically eliminated.
Now, we did also learn some new things about this pilot. According to autopsy results, he had both alcohol and cocaine in his system.
The pilot
did.
Whoa.
He was not the authorized pilot for that plane, and he had just joined that company a few days prior to that flight, so he was very new with that company.
Even for a skeptic, this is a bit too much coincidence. And when you look at all the things Jaguar has talked about before, you start to see a pattern in Jay-Z's actions. Heck, it isn't even just Jay-Z. His wife Beyonce is involved in all this too.
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet.
That's what we're calling
that
it.
That belongs to the devil. Unless you calling that the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
Half of which dumbass bitch.
So, you know, it's funny that it's crazy you say these things.
Why don't nobody want to accept that bitch?
I think
she went and killed the girl Cats.
Okay.
A girl went to court and charged her with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her and shit while she was asleep. No snacking on his bitch, killing people cats. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician and she was trained at the esteemed Berklee College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington, Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough because she just started all the girls. Impulse control issues? I don't know.
That's right, Jaguar Wright claims Beyonce is involved in sorcery. But her husband, Jay-Z, eliminates his opponents through more traditional means, if Jaguar is to be believed.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing. I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. And they're gonna be crazy. It's gonna be the women that give them in the end. And And I think it's time for him to start speaking up about his very good friend. Just 9 months ago, you were singing his praises. All that he's done for the culture. And how you gotta be crazy like Diddy to make it. Then you didn't want to sit next to him at the Grammys. Told everybody that he had cooties. And canceled the Rock Nation brunch, which is your favorite event. Because that's how you line up who you gonna move around next year. Like y'all did with Clarence Avant.
This whole situation is quite interesting because on the surface, Jay-Z seems like everything he claims to be. However, those that have worked with him have often brought up that he's actually quite predatory in his dealings and relationships. Aaliyah and Jay-Z had dated briefly, but things didn't really take off between them. Later, she had a long-term relationship with Dame Dash, which reportedly stirred up tension. Some might say Dame also crossed a line by dating Aaliyah right after Jay. Jaguar Wright also brought up how he tried to profit from Biggie's death.
It's all Jay-Z.
It's all Jay-Z. And he was working with R. Kelly, and they were making so many records together. You know, they made all of those records together. They both Leah. They shared so much in common. You know? And then there was a falling out. And that's like it never happened. Whoever talks about best of the both worlds, best of both worlds. Nobody talks about that.
Nobody talks about this shit.
Nobody talks about that project.
That swept that smooth under the rug.
Why?
We know why.
You know what? I got a better question.
Yeah.
How valuable is a Biggie Smalls verse?
Yeah.
Puffy has been making money off of Biggie's name for longer than Biggie was alive. People keep forgetting he hadn't turned 25 yet. He was still 24 when he died. It's been over 25 years. And Puffy has been making money on that boy's name longer than he lived. It supported all of Bad Boy. His catalog. Clearly, a Biggie Smalls verse is very valuable. Am I wrong? Does anybody disagree with me?
No, that's facts.
So then what the happened to the commission? What happened to that album?
Right.
It was recorded. It was being mixed and mastered upon Biggie's death. It was supposed to have came out that summer after Biggie's album because Biggie's album was slated. He died a week and a half before his album came out. Then the commission was supposed to come out, and that was supposed to be his exit from Bad Boy.
Jay-Z felt that Dame misused his influence. Although Jay had substantial power and sway, he maintained a lower profile and was rarely present at the Rockefeller offices.
I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't give a if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious. But maybe that was because he was fucking the girl that didn't want you.
Oh. Let the church say amen.
I don't know. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you moved this around and out of Rockefeller so tough and then just moved right over to Def Jam. By the way, wasn't this all around the time when Aaliyah died?
Yeah.
And Beyonce's solo career was struggling? Jam on your horn now, that bullshit record. From the Austin Powers was some of the worst ever. They were having a hard time taking her solo. And then Aaliyah died. And then they brought Rich Harrison in, and your love got me thinking so crazy right now. She liked posing with him in pictures for Page 6. Aaliyah didn't. She fell in love with Dame. And Aaliyah's gone, and, you know, You have to start asking yourself questions after being in this business for this long. If you're a halfway intelligent person, when do you start questioning how lucky some motherfuckers keep getting?
Right.
Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over and over again?
Leor Cohen allegedly pitted Jay and Dame against each other. Jay has even admitted this, noting that he's since distanced himself from Cohen. Dame, on the other hand, was reportedly trying to protect Rockefeller's interests. As things soured, Jay allegedly blacklisted Dame in the industry, a scenario that Jay himself would later experience with other execs.
What do you think about Damon Dash selling his Rockefeller piece?
I think he didn't have a choice. And I think the feds want their money any which way they can get it. And I don't think Dame Dash is gonna make $1 off of that deal.
I mean, he's given a third of reasonable doubt.
No, you gotta understand there should be a lot more than that.
Yeah, it should be.
And guess what? He deserves a much bigger share for that album because he's the one that put up all the cash. You wanna know what's funny? Why ain't he claiming what he paid for? Maybe because he can't say how he paid for it. Everything that Dame Dash did for that company, he did to bring his people forward. And while he was bringing it in with a wheelbarrow through the front door, Jay-Z was throwing it out. And by the time he stopped to count up everything he brought in that wheelbarrow, he didn't find out that Jay-Z had already shoveled it all out the back door before he got a chance to sit down.
So really the question is, how long before Jay-Z is arrested? That's all for the video, folks. Thanks for watching.